the Colts giving up on Carson Wentz feels like it's being under talked about. That feels like a big story that maybe people just don't care about because it's the Colts. They traded what turned out to be a first-round pick to get Carson Wentz last year. Carson Wentz imploded at the end of the year. They missed the playoffs. And despite the fact they gave up this first-round pick, which hasn't even happened yet, they just part ways with Wentz. They decide, we're done. We're sick of it. He can't be the guy. And there are reports now,
with no other person.
Right. There is no backup plan, as far as I know. Like, at least it's not apparent yet what the backup plan is. And again, this is like a potential playoff team in a bad division who just traded away their starting quarterback for peanuts after giving up a first round pick for him. Well, I guess two-thirds is not peanuts, but it's definitely not, what they want to get back. So I just thought this was an interesting story. And how many teams are going to fall for this Wentz thing? Like, how many teams are going to fall into the Wentz trap before we move on?
We just said Washington. Washington just fell for it. What do you mean?
Yeah.
They gave 2 third-round picks away to take his stupid contract.
Yeah, it doesn't make any
I wonder,
sense.
like, Frank Reich, who was the impetus to the Colts getting them in the first place and obviously vouched for him.
Right.
And it's almost like the team underachieves like that and misses the playoffs. Somebody's getting blamed.
Yeah.
Frank Reich doesn't want it to be Frank Reich, I'm guessing. if the blame game's going around.
Right.
Frank Reich's like, hey, blame me. It was my fault. I was like, cool. How about you're fired? So he's got to throw Wentz under the bus, which he should have, because Wentz, was...
Yeah.
You think of even like the Patriot game when we should have beaten them and we just didn't get going until the second half. But Wentz was terrible in that game. It's dying for Wentz to throw the ball in that game. So I think ultimately you just have to look at it and you go, we can't win with this guy. It becomes a sunk cost. I think that's ultimately what he was. It was like the Brock Osweiler in Cleveland. Although they didn't have to, in that case, they didn't have to attach first round picks just to get rid of them. But I think with quarterbacks, and we've talked about this some, we talk about it when on the fantasy thread that we have with you and Danny and Craig, like, you kind of know with quarterbacks, there's not a lot of surprise when you're watching them. That's why the Trubisky-Pittsburgh thing is so funny.
Yeah. They're going to convince themselves.
It'll be good. He'll have that one game and he rushes for 112 yards. But like ultimately, we know how this is ending.
Right.
So I think with the Colts, I kind of respect them. They're like, we have a good team. This guy's going to fuck it up. We just got to get rid of him. We got to figure out a different plan.
Yeah, the sunk cost thing is a great point because, I'm currently like sort of making fun of them for moving on after trading a first round pick. But at the end of the day, they're probably better off with somebody else this season.
The thing is, the first round pick's gone. Like you can't
get it back.
You can't. It's gone. It happened, and you just got to look at it that way. And I don't know. I respect them. Now, will I respect them as much if Trevor Siemian is their quarterback? Then it's like, all right, well, he's not better than Carson Wentz, but my guy Minshew comes in.
Minshew, Jimmy G, maybe. Is that the location Jimmy G is going to end up if it's not San Francisco?
So then it will lead to a week of pieces showing that Carson Wentz and Jimmy G statistically are exactly the same and all this stuff. But here's the difference. Jimmy G is fucking cool and his teammates like him. They like playing with him. And it doesn't seem like Wentz was not cool like that. And it didn't seem like his team liked him.
That was something I noted here is that, whereas everybody seems to love Garoppolo, they go to bat for him in the press, all that stuff. They love playing with him. They defend him. I saw this from Athletics' Zach Kiefer. He noted
he does a good job, by the way.
Yeah, really good job. He noted that the Colts just didn't think so. They had what he deemed a lack of leadership. He had a resistance to hard coaching and a reckless style of play. Like that's a bad trifecta right there.
Right.
But
and
like the leadership,
the reckless play was the most noticeable for us. We don't know the leadership piece, but he's sloppy with the ball. Same thing. Daniel Jones is another one. He's sloppy.
Yeah.
I don't want a sloppy QB. We'll see what happens with them. Jimmy G seems like the safe bet.
Yeah.
Am I a lunatic about Minshew? Am I the only one? I'm just on Minshew Island by myself.
I think he's probably not like physically that talented when on the spectrum of quarterbacks, but I think his floor is better than a lot of guys. I actually am sort of more in the boat too of a Minshew believer. I thought he was pretty good, all things considered, in that what was just an atrocious Jacksonville offense for a couple of years. So I'm actually, if we're talking about like the spectrum of hater versus Bill Simmons, who is I think Minshew's greatest supporter, you're his champion. Yeah. I would be more closer to on your side. I'm not quite to where you are probably, but I do think he's better than a lot of backups. I'll put it that way.
As you know, I have a lot of property on Minshew Island. A lot of people don't know this. Have a small condo on Huntley Island.
Ooh, I like that too.
Yeah. I like that dude. That's the kind of guy, like if the Seahawks traded a 3rd round pick for, like that could be a 2nd round pick if he has 16 starts. I think the Seahawks fans talk themselves into that one quick.
I'm into that.